Did you see Donald Pants Trumps? That's not right. It's not a good way to start the show. Look, let's try that again. Did you see Donald Trump's backwards pants?
I did not. I read a headline and there was, unhelpfully, not a picture with it.
Really? The picture's hilarious. I had a look at the picture. Unfortunately, I've read another headline this morning and then looked at the picture. They were forwards pants, but he was just doing something weird where, I don't know what he'd been doing, maybe squats or something beforehand. But then apparently he asks his people to like steam clothes while they're on him.
He asked people to steam his clothes while he's wearing them.
Yeah, apparently that's been going on for like 8 years. He doesn't have time to like iron them or steam them before putting them on.
Right.
So people steam clothes that are on him, hence the weird
Okay, but
look.
if he doesn't have time to do that, what's he doing while the steaming's going on?
I assume he's like standing there talking to people and there's someone knelt down steaming his pants. It's a weird concept.
Have you... I haven't seen that photo, but I have seen the one where he's clearly wearing adult nappies.
Is he though, or is he just a thick-bodied man?
It looks like adult nappies.
He's a real thickie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Thick dude.
Sneaky thick.
Sneaky thick. I think he's sneaky big.
He's sneaky... He's over...
He's like 6'4"?
It's really 6'4".
Yeah, see, right? Sneaky big.
Yeah.
I think he's humongous.
All right. Now, this sounds planned, but it's not.
Does it? Did you hear the beginning when I said Trump backwards? That's not planned.
But that's a good segue into Dad Pants, which is, another new episode this week. Get into it. Monty talking about his journey to fatherhood, bit of birthing class gear, some other stuff. You'll love it.
Also, the potential for underwater humans. I'll let that sit there.
Yeah, just let
you find out.
Yeah.
All right, back to What's the Go, our current podcast. Current as in we're recording it now. Yeah, I don't know. The Trump stuff got me, man. I like reading those weird stuff, and I hadn't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, well, that's because he keeps getting booted off social platforms, surely.
It is.
Because it really does seem like there's been a uniform agreement to not write about the cunt.
Yes, well said. Yeah, that seems to have happened.
Well, at least here in Australia that we see, you know.
Do you think the agreement was, let's not write about him until he wears his pants backwards?
I don't know about this crazy maniac who ran the world. He's just not interesting enough anymore. We need a hook.
Ha! Look at his pants! Yeah, so it was really upsetting today to find out that they were on the right way. There was good speculation yesterday about if they were on backwards, is it worse if he forgot to put his pants on the right way round, or if he peed his pants and then turned them around so that it would look like
the patch would be under his jacket or something?
Exactly. What's worse there?
Well, he's clearly forgotten to wear his diapers that day.
Yeah.
I like saying diapers. I don't get much of a chance, but because we're talking about an American specifically, I can say diapers.
With me having a baby coming up, we say diapers a lot at home because Lindsay's Canadian. They say diapers over there.
Yeah, right.
I think nappies is not that universal. Maybe the Brits say it?
Yeah. I was about to say, where would the word diaper come from? But more importantly, where would the word nappy come from?
I don't know if it's more important. They're probably of similar importance.
Well, nappy sounds a bit weirder.
It does.
Reflections.
Diaper sounds a bit more medical.
Yeah. That's probably you know when you find the end of a conversation?
Yep.
It kind of comes up and slaps you in the face sometimes.
And then we go back to it on this podcast, it seems to me. Well, on the world of America still, I have seen the kind of highlights and watched a little bit of this Money Mayweather versus Jake Paul farce that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You see any of that?
Well, I saw the bit of the undercard where they're slipping on the stage in the ring.
Yeah, why did they do it outside in Florida, which is kind of, has a penchant to storm?
Yeah. And was there no crowd? I don't know. I'm asking you questions because I just don't know.
I'm pretty sure there was no crowd from what I could see.
So why would you could have it in someone's lounge room?
Exactly. You could do it in a church basement. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. But the slipping over was fun. Watching The old... are you familiar with the wide receiver, the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver, Chad Ochocinco?
He's all I really think about.
His name was Chad Johnson. He changed his name by deed poll to Chad Ochocinco, which is the incorrect way in Spanish to say 85, which is his number.
Right.
Because he said he was the first Blaxican wide receiver that people would love, but then he changed it back because he got it wrong.
Hang on. He said he was the first Blaxican wide receiver that people would love.
Well, like he said, I'm big in Mexico. I'll change my name to Chad Ochocinco.
Yeah.
They loved him. But that's...
So he was right.
I don't believe that's how you actually say 85 in Spanish. I think what he said is 85.
85,
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, it still gets it across, I guess.
Either way, he had the first fight on the card. And, you know, he seemed to have fun. Didn't seem to get knocked out. I think he fought against a legitimate bare-knuckle boxer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Didn't watch much of the rest, then saw the highlights of the Mayweather and Logan Paul fight. Mayweather's obviously a lot better, it appears. But Logan Paul's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But
I didn't see it, so I've got no idea. You're going to have to tell me.
Well, the stuff coming out this morning is that it appears as if, I don't know, shock horror, that they had agreed that it would go the distance and neither would knock each other out. And the best way to prove that is there appears to be a bit of footage in which Mayweather appears to shake him, potentially knock him out, if not really rattle him, but then prop him up on his own body so he doesn't fall down.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's the death of boxing, if it wasn't already kind of...
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it's been spluttering for quite some time.
Yeah. There's a good Batuta Advocate article came out straight away where Aussie YouTuber Robalinda calls out Mayweather after watching that Logan Paul. You know who Robalinda is?
No.
Okay. He's his name's Rob Moody. He's just, for some reason, he's just got this massive catalogue of awesome cricket videos. So he's the place you go if you just want to, if you've got a couple of lazy hours to spend and just want to go through some awesome cricket videos.
Love it. What's the first awesome cricket video that comes to your mind? And why is it Andrew Symonds slapping that guy with a bat?
Streaker?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, ball of the century, I guess, though. Isn't
it amazing? Wasn't there a recent one that was like potentially ball of the century 2.0 from someone? I saw that somewhere.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember who it was. So
yeah, I can't remember either, but it was a similar ball.
I think one of the criteria for being a ball of the century is that you vaguely remember who bowled it not long after. And
to be fair, ball of the century happened last century, though, right?
Oh, that's fair.
You see?
That's really fair.
Yeah. So this could be ball of this century.
Yeah. But again, who was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a young Australian spinner of some sort. No? No?
What, Swepson?
Oh, no.
Pope?
No, not the Pope dog. All right, well, that's good. Yeah, I got not much more to say on the fight. I do like boxing a lot. This didn't seem like anything real. These Paul brothers seem to really upset me. I don't know what they are, but they're very upsetting. I like how
you're not sure. They seem to upset me.
Well, I don't know what they do. How did they get famous?
Well, I don't know. You can just say YouTube and that just blanket covers...
That right? That's what I mean. What did they do on YouTube?
Yeah.
Were they were just there?
I don't know. I'm busy watching Rob Linda.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Big week in Australian sport. We got the state of origin. State versus state, mate versus mate.
Yeah.
And they can't say hate versus hate anymore.
Well, they can, but it's not...
People don't like that.
Can I just say, I find some of the... Because the units are so big and strong now playing, I find some of the jersey pulling and pushing around and stuff just as bloody scary looking as some of the actual fights of yesteryear.
Are you trying to soften the blow that I might not see someone hit in the head this week?
No, but the thing of grabbing the jersey so your fist is on their chin and then waggling the jersey around so you're kind of pseudo-punching them on the chin a bit.
Mate, that's an AFL tactic we've had for years. Yeah. You're allowed to do that in AFL.
I know you're allowed to do it, but I'm saying
Yeah, it's scary.
much
Oh, yeah,
scarier
yeah,
that,
definitely.
Tino Fasulumala Awe is grabbing you
Good work.
and doing that rather than, Benny Elias swinging a few legitimate haymakers at you.
Yeah, fair. Benny'd be tired after that too. What's his solution there? You reckon they paint the jerseys on?
No, I'm just saying.
Skin tight jerseys.
I'm just saying that I would rather be across from Benny Elias with him trying to punch me than Tino with him grabbing my jersey and sticking his fist in my throat.
With it being Origin Week, you see on a lot of your footy shows a lot of kind of footage of Origin of yesteryear. The greatest man to ever do it, the King Wally Lewis. You see him playing the game, he does not look like an athlete. No. Like, he's a bald... He looks kind of like a B-Grade Hulk Hogan.
There's the title.
He does, though.
But more concern is the fact that he looked 50 at age 20.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you look at Gary Ablett Sr., he looked worse than that. Like, yeah, athletes of yesteryear, man. And it's kind of like the game looks more fun to watch back then.
But I think it's a microcosm too. I think anyone of yesteryear looked way fucking older, younger.
Worse shape, yeah.
Well, seriously though. But
yeah, fair.
I don't know if it's necessarily about, being in shape or fit. It's just, I don't know, life conditions or what. But
I think our skin's better now because of what we eat.
Yeah.
Like that's part of it.
It's not like dripping and bread and
yeah, exactly. And soot from local coal mines. Yeah, okay, all right. So on Origin, so
let me just say something about what you were saying though. Have you charted a gradual shift in pre-game highlights packages from like when we went from a point of the highlights packages would be great Donnybrooks of yesteryear.
I remember there was about 10 years where it was just the cattle dog or Queenslander.
Yeah.
Like that was the only warm-up you got. Watch these fights.
But I don't remember. Do you think it was a slow fade out or just one year they went, we can't be showing fights anymore. They're not allowed to fight.
Do you remember there was, I think it was a year, because I remember Matty Johns had the character Reg Reagan, right? Bring back the Biff. Because I think, wasn't there a year or so around then, I want to say early 2000s, 3, 4, something like that, where they said, no, you can't fight anymore, right? Yeah. Like, and there was the year before, it was like, look, we don't want you fighting, but you're going to fight. And then, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think there's a legit swap over where they're like, no, we actually have to stop this now. Yeah. I can't say I wish they kept fighting in the game. That's not good, but it's such a big part of Origin.
Yes. But I don't know. I guess that's just been replaced with, I'm not going to say skill, because I don't feel players are more skillful now. I think they're less skillful, for sure.
Just bigger?
Just fucking fucking units now, and just the speed of the game and the contact is just out of this world. So yeah,
Hyper-Speed Meatbags.
You give me too many titles to choose from here. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I enjoy the game more these days, but I'm still frothing for Wednesday, so maybe I'm talking shit.
Are you frothing for Wednesday? I've got a slight, dribble. Less of a froth, but a slight dribble. Like, I'm excited, but I'm not, also...
More bizarrely, I was frothing last week, and as we get closer, the froth is fading.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's drying up. It's more of a white powder around the mouth now.
Which someone has to kind of dab at with a napkin.
Yeah.
And
like how...
Do you ever get annoyed when someone tries to take, sauce or something off your face?
Absolutely.
They're doing you a favour, but you always react like,
Yeah, come on, man. I'll do that myself. I'm a grown-ass man. Okay, so a couple more Origin things. Townsville. I think that's unfair. I think Townsville will be more of a cauldron than the cauldron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think like because your level of Queenslander will be even more condensed. It's like a.
So far for titles, we've got B-Grade Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
I've already forgotten the second one.
Hyper-Speed Meatbags.
Hyper-Speed Meatbags, yeah. And then condensed Queenslanders.
Yeah, it's like up there, it's Queenslander cordial instead of like a Queenslander juice. That you get a bit of a kind of like there's a bit of culture in Brisbane, like a little bit, but up there it's just bogans.
But why are you worried about culture?
Well, I suppose is there some form of Caxton in Townsville, and it's probably fucking hectic.
Yes, there is.
It's probably
the
hectic.
name escapes me right now, but again, referring to bloke in a bar podcast, they were saying like there is some place in Townsville they go, and 1 year when Freddie was coach and Roosters were up there playing badly, he sent the message out saying, if you guys don't lift your game, we're not going there after the game. Seriously.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, so it's obviously it was a place
and they went on to win, I assume.
And probably like earlier 2000s before social media and stuff, so they could go there and just get loose because they were
cut loose.
Fuck up.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I reckon it's going to be. I think it's put the series at a bit of a disadvantage for the Blues. I assume we're favourites for the first game because I think on paper we're better. But this brings me
favourites every year though.
That's what I was going to say. So this brings me to my question to you that I had before we started the podcast. So I'll bring it up again. How many times have New South Wales lost the Origin when being better?
Well, I don't have a number for you, but
okay, discuss.
It feels like a lot. It feels like, yeah, and it also feels like the whole thing of Queensland putting out in the press about injury worries and all that, player might not play, etc. This year it just seems like a universal joke that everyone knows they're going to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Munster, who was under a cloud, will come out and be man of the match. And
cloud suddenly clears.
Yeah, Gagai will come and score 40 tries.
Yeah, so what is it? Do they play better in that jersey than we play in the blue one?
I think regardless of what the team looks like on paper, they're going to be a strong side. Now, they might not be full of superstars like New South Wales, but it's a strong side.
And also it's that thing that not full of superstars, but they are full of superstars, just the second 22 best superstars, you know what I mean? Like,
I think if New South Wales were consistently the underdog, it's extra motivation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And New South Wales don't learn any lessons.
No. We don't.
They need to go in thinking they are the underdog. They can't go in every year thinking that they're the favourites.
I've always been of the thought that the Blues are not great at adapting to the game. We go in with a plan, and then just if the plan doesn't work, we go harder at the plan. Yeah.
I just think it's selections, to be honest.
Just fullbacks everywhere.
Fullbacks everywhere. Centres can't be centres.
Yeah.
And again, we've probably talked about this 5 times on this podcast, so I'm going to say it again. They picked 2 fullbacks, or a fullback and a 5/8 in centres last year, and that's where all the line breaks came through.
Yep. And this year?
We got 2 fullbacks in the centres.
Yep.
But one of them at least used to be a centre.
Yeah, and he's a bigger fullback, so that's that helps a bit. Okay, so before we move off this topic, it's tomorrow. What's your prediction for Game 1 and the series and Man of the Series? Man of the Series? Is that how they say it? That doesn't feel right.
Player of the Series.
Yeah, Player of the Series.
Look, I think New South Wales, and I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Townsville will be a factor. I think it'll be a close game.
Yep.
But
do you think we win it?
Yes.
Okay.
But then
go party at that super pub.
Yeah, fucking A. I've concerns about Harry Grant. So
I thought he was out.
No, Harry Grant's in.
No, I thought he was under a cloud. Or is this just Queensland fuckery again?
I don't know if it's fuckery, but he's very definitely playing because the reserve hooker, Reid Marnie, got released to play on the weekend and then fucked his shoulder, so he can't go back into the camp.
When I think it was Friday I was looking at it was Harry Grant, what's the Kalen Ponga, Munster under injury clouds.
Yeah.
So what? Kalen not playing.
Yeah. And
the other two, Cloud gone.
I don't know about Cloud gone.
Okay. Still Cloud.
Yeah. But, rays of sunshine coming through.
Yeah.
But, they had 2 hookers in the squad and released 1, so that means Harry's good.
Fair.
Now Reid Marnie's injured, so he can't come back in, so they've got to get Ben Hunt to go up there and be the, reserve hooker.
Ben Hunt can have a go in Origin, though.
Yeah, he's not bad at Origin.
You know what I mean? Like, he's relatively average outside of Origin, but like Dane Gagai, turns it on in Origin.
Yeah. Like many Queenslanders over the years.
Yeah. Andrew G.
Osher.
No, the football player. Okay, keep going with your predictions. We started talking about Harry Grant.
Yeah. But my point is, I don't think he's going to be able to play 80 minutes. So that forces you to pick Ben Hunt, perhaps, as your utility, which is not what they had planned.
Okay, interesting.
Munster, if these guys are genuinely under clouds, 8 minutes of Origin footy, they're going to last, are they? Munsters?
Well, is it going to be soft Origin footy where you get sent off if you look at someone funny?
Well, I don't know about that, but if you're relying on that to get through 80 minutes, i.e. the breaks that come with snapping someone in the head.
Yeah, well, and the breaks that come with snapping in the head will be offset by the breaks you don't get from 6 again.
So that's just a rest offset.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think... I feel New South Wales will be too big, too strong, too... I guess, injury-free. But you have to assume, yes, Maroons will play games about injuries and so on leading up. But if they say someone's under a cloud, there must be some cloud there. It's just whether they're going to play or not. They can't say someone's under a cloud who's 100% fighting fit.
Yeah.
Munster hasn't played in weeks.
Yeah, he's actually under a cloud.
Yeah. So, regardless, it's just the degree of cloud.
All right, give us a series score, winner, and player of the tournament.
Series score?
Yes, that's what I was asking for.
2-1 New South Wales. I think they probably go to Suncorp and win there.
Yep. You mean Queensland, dude? Yeah.
And then we'll win it back in New South Wales. But there's no point predicting anything. Because nothing really is just straight down to talent, skill, how you think the game's going to play out. It's who's injured, when. That is entirely what will dictate everything and always does now. So,
well, listen to this. I got a prediction for you then. Man of the series, and it relates to injury. I reckon man of the series is Tom Turbo, because I reckon 5 minutes in, Teddy does his face in, and we put him at fullback.
Yeah, very possibly. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Do you feel that racing some Monty on the Corso was the best thing that ever happened to Tommy Turbo?
Do you reckon he set this up, a PR firm set this whole thing up, race the Munty on the Corso, and then you'll have the season of your wife?
Because it's just made him... Obviously, he felt so guilty to then have to be out for a while that he's come back the frothinest he's ever frothed.
He's so frothy. I still don't know why his brother's in the team, though.
Which one?
The Jake one.
There's another one now.
Get out. Oh, yeah. They're multiplying. Yeah. Like the Burgeye.
Yeah. One of which wants to come back now as well, by the way.
Which one? How many of them are there? 4?
There's 4.
Jesus.
The other twin that's not playing currently.
Okay.
Well, one of them's still playing. There's only one still playing. That's ours.
Yeah.
But the other twin wants to come back for Dragonis.
Wow.
Everyone seems to be going to the Dragons. Every day there's a story about someone going to the Dragons.
Yeah, but what was that weird shit going on with that guy? Who'd they get rid of this week at the Dragons?
I haven't got rid of him. Dufty.
Yeah, Dufty.
Ah, Dufty. That's what they call him in the office.
Dufty! In here!
Come in here, Dufty. Nah, we don't want you at the club, right? Yeah, I don't know. Griffo, the big Griff.
Yep, yeah, the big Griff.
Hook.
Griff dog.
He seems to have a very distinct idea of the kind of player he likes and who he doesn't like. So, and when I say like, I assume mostly just will fit into his style of coaching and only a little bit about personal opinion on the player.
Well, you never know. Dufty could be a cunt.
But there's been so many of these baffling things happen this year.
Oh, fuck this bus.
We're behind a bus.
Goddamn bus.
No, I say fuck the people that happen to... Why can't they all just go to one stop?
Yeah, or like buy a car, you loser. Public transport.
And there's too much going on for me to switch lanes as well. This is fucked.
Yep.
What was I saying?
Dufty, Griffo,
Dufty.
Griffo and his desire to have good players on his
team. There's been so many of these baffling things this year. Dragons saying, fuck off, Dufty.
Yep.
And people felt the same way about Cameron McInnes, right?
Yeah, McGuinness.
Why did they? Yeah. Anyway, Reece Walsh not being the Broncos not holding on to Reece Walsh, who's like
pretty decent.
Pretty decent and pretty. Full stop.
Yeah, good looking cat.
Yeah, it's just this year I think more than last few years I've just been, oh, you're fast, aren't you? Sorry.
He's talking to an Audi. Fuck that Audi.
Who just did a really short burst and then had to stop because there was traffic ahead.
Could do with someone like that in Origin.
Yep.
A short burst, then stop.
Yeah, you're an analogy king, aren't you?
Thank you.
It's getting bumpy. Bumpy, Dufty.
All right, that's enough on Origin. I've got a quick Euros preview and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh, fuck yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, good. All right, so the Euros starts, we think. I mean, it's still possible that COVID kills it 6 days out, but I think it starts this week. Starts on Saturday morning. Here's my top 5 teams I think will win it. I think the Frogs are, amazing. They're a very good team. The depth is ridiculous. Having Karim Benzema back in the team is amazing. It's hard to see anyone beating them. It's hard. I rate the young Italians. I think it's been a bit of a wilderness time the last, 6 years or so on the international stage for the Itais, and I think that they will bounce back. The second favourites currently are England. I have nothing for them. I do not think so several reasons. Like we have picked fullbacks everywhere, they have a team full of right backs. They just have right backs all over the field. It's bizarre. They also have no one to take free kicks because they didn't take our god Wardy. They should have taken Ward-Prowse. That was stupid. So I got nothing for England. I think the boxheads, the Germans, also suffering a little bit of wilderness time like the Italians, will be back stronger than ever. I believe they beat someone 7-1 in a warm-up game this morning. Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, Muller, they've got a team. Goretzka, they've got a team. But Chris Hummel's in defence, so I don't know about that. And then obviously the pork and cheese are quite, people like the pork and cheese. I worry again about old man Pepe in defence. That's a 38-year-old, I think, in the centre of your defence. But, I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty pumped to watch it, though. It's starting Saturday morning. You got anything on the Euros?
Dufty! We don't want you at our club, Dufty!
To be fair, that's a team I'll be watching closely. The Scots are back. Haven't been in there in a while, and I love watching Scottish football.
I was being northern.
Well, just go a little further.
You don't fit my coaching plan, Dufty.
That's good. Okay. Anything else in the world of sport? I mean, I was happy the Tigers won against Penrith on Friday. We didn't talk about that. That's pretty good.
Dufty.
Swannies got up just despite a bad referee over the weekend. Umpire, sorry. And Bo Sox beat Yanks 6-5 yesterday. I was happy about that.
You're our best player in attack, but I don't want you, Dufty.
On that note, I think we're done.
Hello, my name is Piers Grove and I'm a founder, publisher and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu.
I'm Rachel.
And we are fans
Obsessives might be the word.
of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
Lived it.
We lived it, we were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.